mean, the league was built on the backs of talented black women like yourself. I mean, these white girls come along, right? Karen Adler, Caitlin Clark, and they're instant superstars.
The one bit where all these white girls come along and they're instant superstars, it's only Caitlin Clark that was the instant superstar.
You gotta admit there's something special about her game though, right?
Yeah, she's white.
Their argument is that she's popular because she's white. Then why didn't Stewie turn the W on its head after winning 4 natties with UConn? Why didn't Sabrina turn the W on its head after being called like a media darling?
Here's what Caitlin Clark could do. Y'all come at me like this, I'm not doing any interviews with you. Y'all keep coming at it with these dumbasses, Monica McNutt. I'm done with you. I'm not doing interviews with you. We'll go play in the Unrivaled League, and let's see which league gets going. And then let's see where the hell we're at. Your dumbasses at ESPN want to get up there and be racist as hell towards me. I don't participate in racism. Next time I hear that bull, we ain't playing in a game that you're televising.
Instead of using physical force, she was attacked with words, false stories, and a script designed to discredit her on national television.
Here we go again. Why is Caitlin Clark popular?
People aren't spending 3 hours of their time to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball because they're racially motivated.
Caitlin Clark's name was brought up in a fictitious Law and Order drama just 2 minutes ago, but the insult was really genuine.
Yeah, so she was good with that elbow you threw at her face?
I didn't say she was good with it, but she joked that it was good for the game, that it would get us lots of media coverage.
She may have a whole bunch of turnovers, but she does things in a way that you haven't seen. She does things that are exciting to watch.
The episode didn't just take a stab. It launched a full-fledged assault on her, implying that her fame stems from her skin tone rather than her abilities.
If it was because she was white, Sabrina Ionescu would have changed and brought the WNBA and turned it on its head, but she is not turning the W upside down on its head like Caitlin Clark is.
Is this more than just a plot? This is a cultural slap in the face to all of her accomplishments, including her dominated games, broken records, and earned stats.
You stand up to bullies. You don't acquiesce. Because when you acquiesce or apologize, it will never stop. You stand up to bullies. You tell them go F themselves.
So let's be clear. If you genuinely value Caitlin Clark's contributions to the game and prefer talent to negativity, please leave a CC22 in the comments section right now.
There's the two sides who think she is only popular and does have the notoriety and recognition that she does because she is white. There is the other side that says you guys are crazy, you're all jealous of her, and she is just talented.
Declare to the world that we see the truth and that we will not remain silent because this is a personal matter.
When's the last time you heard about Law & Order? That Law & Order scene cannot be written without Caitlin Clark. That mention cannot happen without Caitlin Clark because you couldn't say it for Elena Delle Donne or Brianna Stewart or Sabrina Ionescu or Sue Bird or Paige Peck.
A new episode of Law & Order Special Victims Unit, Bubble Wrap, Season 24, Episode 18, aired on April 10th. The authors chose to do something that had nothing to do with the law and everything to do with character assassination in the middle of a plot that was ostensibly about justice.
So there is an episode of Law & Order that was just aired on April 10th, and it's called Bubble Wrap. It is Season 24, Episode 18. I think that a lot of people, myself included, are very tired of this narrative when there's so much proof of the reason Caitlin Clark being popular, and it is because what she does on the court.
The conversation took a sudden, awkward turn in a scenario that many viewers found shocking, and Caitlin Clark's name was immediately brought up.
Clark's popularity and the reality of the fans that are celebrating her is so different than what you see on social media. You never hear, "Go white girl!"
Let's dissect the script, which accused players like Caitlin Clark and a fictional white player named Karen Adler of essentially stealing the show. The league was founded on the shoulders of gifted black women like you, and these white girls then appear with Caitlin Clark, Karen Adler, and their immediate superstars, receiving all the sponsorships and endorsements.
There is just so much statistical data to prove why people are invested and interested and can't stop looking at Caitlin Clark. Like, she has broken a record for records. As a rookie, she has done things nobody else has done. Stats do not require race as a prerequisite. They just are what they are.
Let it sink in. They weren't talking about Caitlin's ability to draw in millions of spectators, her incredible vision on the court, or her record-breaking three-pointers, a league that was pleading for recognition, but instead they minimized her accomplishments to the derogatory suggestion that she is only successful because she is white.
There are women that were worthy of coverage prior to her arriving, and I just will not be silenced when it comes to that.
You don't have leverage all the time. And when you do have leverage like Caitlin Clark has, you damn sure better use.
This was a loaded story purposefully inserted into a primetime program that millions of people saw, not merely talk. A fictitious live assault on Caitlin's integrity disguised as entertainment. And worse, the incident intensified when one character implied that Caitlin's game was unique. The response was utterly insensitive. Yes, she is white, and that's the only explanation.
Caitlin Clark mentioned on Law & Order.
You've been talking trash about her for a while, right? Saying that she was a joke, that you were going to kick her ass.
Come on, man. It was just talk.
Look, I get it. I mean, the league was built on the backs of talented black women like yourself. I mean, these white girls come along, right? Karen Adler, Caitlin Clark, and they're instant superstars. Everybody's saying they put the league on the map.
And they're getting all the endorsements and sponsorships. Yeah, it's messed up.
You got to admit there's something special about her game, though, right?
Yeah, she's white. But I hear you. Cam could play. I had a lot of respect for her.
Really? Just didn't look that way.
It was a big game. We're both really competitive, and we got into it. But that was it. We even talked after the game for a bit, cleared the air.
Yeah, so she was good with that elbow you threw at her face?
Couldn't say she was good with it, but she joked that it was good for the game, that it would get us lots of media coverage.
This is what occurs when jealousy takes the place of truth and perfection turns into. Uneasy for people that would want to change the plot rather than abide by the player law, and allowing a show that once stood for justice and facts to be transformed into a racial hit piece by incorporating actual animosity into a made-up crime scene.
Caitlin Clark does have a further three-point range than even Steph Curry, and that is just kind of bonkers. Think about how popular Steph Curry is. Caitlin Clark shoots farther away on average than he does.
Here's the irony. Let's call this what it is. It's not a tribute. Rather, it's a targeted strike because Caitlin broke the mold, not the rules. This attack only serves to highlight Caitlin's influence. She is such a powerful force and cultural disruptor that even Hollywood couldn't help but throw a punch. And here's the real kicker.
It all comes back to Caitlin Clark's popularity. I believe it is based on basketball more than anything else. Look at what went viral from the Letterman clip, her playing basketball.
They tried to erase her talent and paint her success as a privilege while ignoring what she actually does on the court. Therefore, when people claim that Caitlin Clark was assaulted in a live show, they are not exaggerating. Rather, this was an ideological ambush that was written, practiced, and broadcast. Now it is our turn to respond with facts and fire. Caitlin didn't ask to be in that episode, and she didn't write that script.
Caitlin Clark made the comments to Time magazine. Monica McNutt recently said on BBC, perhaps a big reason for Caitlin Clark's popularity is she's white and from the Midwest.
The Monica McNutt stuff, and specifically with this level of media, we're talking about with ESPN, their issue with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark represents Trump America, MAGA America. They see her and they say, this is someone that everybody who roots for probably voted for Donald Trump, and I hate Donald Trump, and I hate those red hats, and I hate everything that represents to me, because to me, that represents race.
Let's tear the bandage off this stale, unfounded story. We're not talking about a mediocre role player here. Rather, we're talking about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Caitlin Clark is popular because she's amazing, not because she's white. Generation player who entered a league known for having trouble captivating crowds and immediately brought attention to themselves, not with skin tone or marketing gimmicks, but with game-changing performances. Stunning highlights and unwavering poise under duress.
The prevailing narrative that has been created around this season's WNBA play is that it's the league versus Caitlin Clark, and that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could take it to the next level.
There's a method to this madness. When given a chance to talk about Caitlin Clark, they're always going to racialize it and try to demonize Caitlin Clark's fan base.
Let's start with her stats, since numbers don't lie, and they certainly as hell don't see color as a rookie in the WNBA as the leader with assists. Caitlin Clark has already broken records that most veterans can only imagine. She has been scoring points with logo range bombs and executing highlight reel plays that have fans paying attention. Night and night, and this goes beyond fan service. She is the only rookie in WNBA history to consistently record double-doubles while being double-teamed in every game, and her court vision equals that of the NBA's best. Her influence is quantifiable. Her basketball IQ is extremely high, and she is not only a shooter but also a leader, creator, and floor general.
This is further proof of that because it wouldn't have made its way onto the show if she didn't play in the WNBA.
Still believe it's about being white? Then explain to me why Oregon College phenom and fellow white star Sabrina Ionescu didn't append the WNBA the way Caitlyn did. She was highly anticipated upon graduating, had endorsements, and had ESPN coverage, yet the WNBA didn't take off. Perhaps one of the most effective and reliable is Breanna Stewart. Gamers the league had previously noticed that she is also white, but once more, when she joined, no one accused them of stealing the show or receiving unfair endorsements due to their skin tone. So why now? The basic fact is that Clark is unique.
Different. She's a white girl from the middle of corn country.
They like Caitlin Clark because she's not a victim, because she doesn't seem to be angry. And so they find her relatable.
She didn't come from a legacy powerhouse like UConn, and she didn't have a stacked team to rely on. Instead, she led Iowa, a mid-level team without a history of dominance, to consecutive national championship games by scoring over 40 points on the biggest stages, embarrassing top programs with threading passes and step-back threes from the logo. Protectors such as a surgeon, her explosive style of play is what has captured the attention of people worldwide. Let's also discuss her three-point shooting ability. Steph Curry, who transformed the NBA with his long-range shooting, is now being matched and outranged in distance by a WNBA rookie. Caitlin Clark's average shooting distance is greater than Curry's.
Former black players have decided, hey, we're going to hate on Caitlin Clark constantly to elevate ourselves, but also trigger her fans so that they'll keep coming to games and rooting for her, and it's going to elevate the entire
league, which is historic rather than hype, and people are taking notice of Shane Gillis, one of the most well-known figures in stand-up comedy. Freely acknowledged that he was starstruck when he saw her, he stopped making jokes about everything. He called the Pacers Arena the house Caitlin Clark created, and he meant it. He welcomed her to his green room and freely acknowledged that he was anxious to speak to her.
Every single one of you WNBA players, you better pray that Caitlin Clark doesn't get injured, because she's keeping your league afloat.
Juju Watkins goes down with a devastating injury that might keep her out next season. God forbid. If the same thing happens to Caitlin Clark, the WNBA will not survive. You have one young woman carrying the entire league.
Michael Thompson, a man who has played with Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the father of Golden State Warrior Klay Thompson and a former NBA champion, froze when he saw Caitlin and was unable to even say hi. That's the kind of magnetic presence she has. She's not just moving the needle, she is the needle. Naturally, the discussion becomes complicated when a white woman dominates a league that has previously been dominated by black stars. Some people try to simplify it by stating, well, she's getting all this attention because she's white. That's jealousy masquerading as indignation, not analysis.
She's not Angel Reese, who can barely make a layup. She's not Asia Wilson, who is 6'4" or 6'5" and completely unrelatable to most women.
Because every white player would be a worldwide phenomenon if race were the real cause. But they're not the sole person driving ESPN to set new ratings records for WNBA games and converting WNBA jerseys into best-selling items is Caitlin Clark. Someone who is filling stadia in cities where there were previously empty seats. People are observing something novel and uncommon. A player who blends Steph Curry's assortment, the court vision of Sue Bird, Kobe Bryant's Deadly Instinct, and Diana Tur's swagger combine to create something that isn't about race, but rather greatness.
Little girls said, hey, I can relate to Caitlin Clark. She's like us. She has a boyfriend. There's a lot of parents that feel real comfortable taking their kids to a game.
If you're still not persuaded, consider the variety of her fan base. It's not simply white girls in Iowa sporting Caitlin Clark shirts. Her fans are black. Fans of Latinos, Asian admirers, it's not only untrue to say that she is only liked by white people. There are international followers from all walks of life who celebrate her accomplishments and stand up for her against the hate. It is disrespectful to the millions of people who see her for who she really is, the most captivating player in women's basketball today. She is a movement, not a product of the media, and when movements upset people's comfort zones, they begin looking for reasons to discredit them. Let's face it, Caitlin Clark isn't popular because she is white. Rather, it's because she is dominant.
Monica has figured out a way to make the WNBA relevant and profitable long term. The lady from the BBC, she seems to be asking Monica McDougal how the WNBA can maintain their momentum from last season. There's an easy answer to that question. More than likely, they can't.
Two things. I think it has to show up in our storytelling, and it has to be encouraged by our families.
Yeah.
To me, right? And so covering the WNBA this past season, Caitlin Clark's rookie year, for all of the conversation that surrounded her, some which was fair and some which wasn't, the one thing that I cannot deny is the amount of little girls that were showing up to follow her. Little girls with their parents and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, I was just about to say same thing for Angel Reese when I had a chance to cover their games. But I think Caitlin represented, and again, some of this to me probably is not fair to her because it was not anything that she said or was truly based on her personality, but she was a white girl from the middle of America. And so she represented a whole lot to a lot of people, whether that is truly what she prescribed to or not. We can all say she is a dynamic basketball player and a force both on the court and the marketing sense. But I do think, same thing with folks that may have fallen in love with Angel Reese that she may or may not have agreed with everything they had to say either. We attach our fandom to these icons for all types of reasons.
Where are these Angel Reese fans? When I see Chicago Bravado games on TV, the only things I see are missed layups and empty seats.
For a moment, let's revisit the Law and Order episode. The authors had the option to just accept Caitlin's influence and go on, but instead they included the hurtful statement, "Yes, she's white," which wasn't merely a lazy one, it was an intentional sarcasm. The episode caused outrage, not because Caitlin did anything wrong, but because it echoed a sentiment that has been whispered, tweeted, and even shouted in recent months. She doesn't deserve this much attention. Let's ask a better question. Why wouldn't she deserve it? She's playing better than most, drawing more fans than anyone, and putting the WNBA on more screens. An attempt was made to delegitimize her success and turn viewers against her, and it worked, at least for some. She is causing highlight reels to go viral more often than ever before, and NBA players, comedians, celebrities, and even previous haters have admitted that they now watch women's basketball as a result of her.
#1 revenue sport in America. What do you think it is? The NFL. How much do you think they make? $17 billion. The NBA, a little over $11 billion. You guys are a $150 to $200 million company. You're operating at a loss every single year. You've never made money. It's called a zombie company. You're subsidized by the NBA.
In just 6 months, Caitlin Clark has achieved what the league has sought to do for 20 years, make the WNBA relevant to the general public. However, rather than applauding her for this, some people want to focus on her race and claim we live in a culture that cries for inclusion, celebrates diversity, and professes to want fair representation. But when a white athlete enters a space and performs at the highest level, people start shifting the goalposts. It's no longer about performance. It's about race. Now it's about politics. Now it's about privilege. She's stealing attention and acting like her success is some sort of racial injustice, which is simply jealousy.
She's not playing with anger. She's not playing with a sense of entitlement. And yes, people find that relatable.
Here's the twist, though. Nobody has given Caitlin Clark her reputation or her records. She has earned everything she has. Wasn't selected first because she looked the part. Rather, she was selected first because she became the part. Let's also discuss how she has been treated on the court. If we're talking about fairness, let's discuss the cheap shots, flagrant fouls, and targeted physical plays she has experienced during her rookie season. She has been shoved off the ball, elbowed in the face, and the league hasn't intervened to protect her. When she reacts, she is called soft or worse, entitled. Can you imagine the headlines if this had happened to Angel Reese or Adele Wilson? Probe. But when it comes to Caitlin, the story abruptly changes and she is given what she is due. This is selective justice, not equality.
What happened is Caitlin Clark in her sophomore year and really in her junior year just started excelling and doing things that nobody had ever seen a female basketball player do. Like nobody had consistently been shooting these from the logo passes.
She shoots logo threes, passes the ball like Magic Johnson, scores a lot of points, leads the league in assists. She's a great, great player and she plays and shoots and releases the ball like Steph Curry. So there's the attraction to the exciting style of...
In actuality, Caitlin Clark is posing a danger to the status quo by pressuring the WNBA to change more quickly than it is prepared to, since she is drawing in new sponsors, garnering national attention, smashing attendance records, and receiving international attention. She is reviving interest in the sport, which some athletes, media, and even screenwriters find frightening, since it exposes hard work when a single player accomplishes something that a whole league hasn't been able to do in 20 years. Among other things, it shows that women's basketball stars were excited and that spectators weren't the issue. Most significantly, it shows that brilliance doesn't wear any color.
Caitlin Clark is relatable and popular, and people want to see her play because she's exciting as heck to watch and because she's not filled with anger. People are attracted to joy.
In addition to being a player, Caitlin Clark is a cultural lightning rod, a disruptor, and a mirror held up to a league that has long needed to examine itself. For this reason, when the media turns her tail into something negative, and when the jealous fingers point, keep in mind that Caitlin Clark is receiving precisely what she is due, and that the world is watching her impact rather than her race. If that makes folks uncomfortable, perhaps it's time to find out why.
Right, and that's what a lot of these women are doing, is they feel like what we have done for this game, this young player has come into our game, and she's getting way more respect and all that stuff than we are. As she should. The young girl is a baller. The young girl has people watching because of the way she can shoot this basketball like Steph Curry. Steph Curry can't dunk. Steph Curry don't do none of that in the game. He can probably dunk by himself, but he don't really do none of that in the game. He is a shooter, and fans tune in to see Steph Curry. When I look at Caitlin Clark, fans are tuning in to watch her. And you know who that's helping? Everybody else. It's helping the Asia Wilsons. It's helping everybody else, the Plums, all that. It's helping all of them, the Taurasi.
Now that you've witnessed it for yourself, they attempted to degrade her on national television by turning her brilliance into a joke, ignoring the statistics, discounting her talent, and hiding the truth behind a cheesy comment about her skin tone. However, the thing about Caitlin Clark is that you can't cancel someone who's carried the game on her back. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about how we treat success when it challenges the status quo. It's about how we respond when someone rises higher, faster, and louder than the system expected. Caitlin didn't ask to be a symbol. She just wanted to hoop. But because she's white, successful, and unapologetically fierce, the attacks came fast from rivals.
It almost felt like marketers were trying to figure out, like, yeah, we have all of these amazing players and these amazing personalities, but can we push the demographic? And then when Caitlin Clark got to the league, the Angel Reeses got to the league, and they might have been fouled hard. The same thing I saw happen with Shamika Holdsclaw, though.
You see my tooth knocked out?
Yeah,
Rookie season, Joel Lloyd. My tooth knocked out. I still didn't get it.
So how do you?
It's cool.
T-Clark, how do you feel about the fact that all of a sudden it was, oh, it's too physical. Oh, they're going at them because they're stars. What was your reaction to some of the new viewers and fans to the game thinking that the WNBA was too rough?
It was a crazy season because we have never had so much momentum behind our league, so much support, demand, viewership, all that, accessibility. But the craziness that came with the new fandom was rooted in something other than fandom, right? And I think that's very evident to see across the board. In a lot of ways, it has not been about basketball. Like, we can talk about, you know, people getting fouled. I just showed you my tooth getting knocked out. Like, that's been a part of the game. The game has always been physical. I can tell you the amount of times I've left with bloody lips and eyes. I have bruises all over my body, even from the game last night. You can see bruises on my elbow from last night. Like, it's just a part of the game. So there was no targeting. There was no nothing.
Right.
That narrative that got spun into, oh, the vets hate the rookies hate the vets are going after certain players. It's all bullshit. Like, if I'm just gonna be frank, like, it's all bullshit. What it is racism, right? It gets blown up into, oh, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no, we're just playing one of the best players that's in this league the way that any other best player, franchise player is gonna get played. Mm-hmm. Watch how Stewie gets played, watch how Asia gets played, watch how Enrique gets played, watch how Khalid gets played. Go down the list of franchise players for every team. They be getting fucked up every game. It don't matter what position you are, what color you are, what school you came out of. this is how we feed our families. Our job is to go and win. And if we don't win, what happens? We get fired. We lose our jobs. So
facts. Caitlin Clark is getting mauled, no calls. Ryan Clark is a clout chaser that stinks at sports commentary. His co-hosts aren't worth mentioning. Natasha Cloud, aka Natasha Clown, is running the race baiting media because she's average at best in the W, and now she's stuck in Connecticut because she stinks.
Players from bitter fans from scripted shows, trying to write her downfall before her legacy is even. Complete that she's still standing stronger, sharper, smiling through the hate, because every time they try to knock her down, she just plays harder. Every time they point a finger, she makes them point to the scoreboard. Instead, every time they say she doesn't belong, millions of fans show up to say, she's the reason we're here. So if you believe in truth over hate, if you stand for facts over fiction, if you support Caitlin Clark for what she's done, not for how she looks, then drop a CC22 in the comments right now.
Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlin Clark. They enjoy watching her play, her style, her energy, her shot. Whether it's because her game mirrors one of the greatest players in the NBA in Steph Curry or not, I don't know what it is. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. She has it. She's got the thing. I remember when the WNBA started. I was thrilled. I was a fan. I couldn't believe it was an opportunity for me, a 5'2", 97-pound girl, to go play professional basketball. That wasn't gonna happen for me, but the idea that it existed was special to me. And now she's offering that to not just little girls, but little boys as well. She's spread the fan base.
Let them know we see through the lies. Let them hear our voices. Because the real assault isn't what happened in a TV script. The real assault is what's happening to authentic greatness in real life, and we're not letting it go unchecked. Caitlin Clark is not a trend. She's not a token. She's a titan in the making, and no narrative, no show, no spin can take that away.